Hello, cyberspace. It is Terracin, your favorite cyber bitch. Uh, I'm sorry we are running late. I was asked to be part of the fake orgasm Olympics in which I won first place.
Nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And apparently what got me the win was screaming Burnside's name on my second try.
Harley.
Well, so I hope your pipes aren't blown out from all that burn sighting.
No, but something else will get blown as soon as we're done here.
Yes, Burnside is home alone. Thank the gods, and all I have is a 5-year-old upstairs, and the bedroom door is shut.
It's funny, you have a 5-year-old upstairs, and Irv has a 12-year-old in the glass. So how is everybody?
I need another beer. Maybe not. Or I might just load up my pipe and start smoking.
Load up your pipe. Don't drink. I don't want you too fucking drunk.
No, I'm not that I'm too fucking drunk. I only got a fucking 12-pack of St. Pauli's, and I've already had quite a few between yesterday and today. You know,
I don't want you too fucking drunk, because I don't want you.
I've only had 3, woman. Come on.
Once we get done here, I don't want you saying, "Oh, I've got to go to bed now," and I'm like, "No."
Well, I probably will because I work tomorrow. So sorry, that's a thing. I have to work, and yes, I have night shifts.
I gotta ask, am I the only one that gets the picture in my head from Inglourious Bastards where Christoph Waltz whips out that huge pipe in the beginning and starts smoking whenever Burnside says he's grabbing his pipe?
That's basically it. If you want, I'll go put a little bit of my get-up on after I go and retrieve it, and I'll go and show you. I'll probably have to cut a hole in one of the masks, but yeah, I'll go smoke with my pipe.
That's fine. That's fine. Any stick we can have, definitely.
Sure. Why the hell not? All right, yeah.
Let me go. You're not allowed to go to bed till I get off.
Oh, you better hope, woman.
Phrasing.
What happened?
He's not allowed to go to bed till Tara gets off. Phrasing. Come on.
No, it was meant to be that way. He knows exactly what I mean.
Oh, okay. I'm rather proficient with phrasing, if somewhat dark recently.
Yeah. I was reading some to Scooby.
Yeah, bro, seriously. I have to have a protein shake to keep up with your Twitter feed. It makes my fucking head hurt.
Well, we'll all get we'll all come to understand it a little better tomorrow night on my the next live stream 70.
Nice.
The big 70.
Your live stream is turning 70.
Yep.
I can't believe we've been doing that many of these already.
Oh my god, we don't actually keep track of the numbers for what we did as Chaos.
Yeah. Well, so to be fair, I started doing the next live streams before I was even in Chaos 120.
Yeah. And now you're doing them after Chaos 120.
Yeah.
The next live streams will always be there.
The internet may
I will say Jean-Pierre did ask earlier if this was a Chaos 120 stream, and I told him no.
No, it's not.
He said sorry for not paying attention. What happened? We were just getting more views, more attention, and in the wake of many things happening, we decided it was a good time to rebrand, start over.
Yeah.
As our own thing.
Yeah, what it is, Chaos was a stream that was started in the wake of the Lords of the Night starting off. And it was one of the mirror streams or clone streams, however you want to put it, where it was following the same sort of format. A lot of things have actually. I give a lot of credit to Stream Lords of the Night because, if I'm not mistaken, they were one of the first ones to start doing the Florida Man thing, and that's spread now like wildfire. I mean, everyone's doing Florida Man now.
Fuck you all.
I didn't even realize it at the time. But part of the reason we shed the name of Chaos 120 is we just are not adhering to that format anymore. We've become a lot more fluid. We're more of a dynamic stream at this point. We don't stagnate as much. A lot of the other streams I've been noticing, their lineups tend to stay at the same, and the content tends to stay the same. We basically stream about 60% of the stream has been constant, but the other 40% has always been in flux. That's part of the reason we felt Chaos to be an apropos title, but we've actually moved beyond the point where Chaos isn't even apropos anymore. So Irving came up with the most perfect name for right now where we're at.
We're going to keep it on our hat for now.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it is not the title of this stream.
Correct.
It is not the title of this stream. This is just my thing.
It'll be properly unveiled when the time is right.
The title of the stream, which is Musketeers, which I also did last night, is because through everything we've stuck together.
Also, exactly. It's
that's my
third favorite candy bar.
Yeah. And just also, I'd like to point out for people looking at the screen right now, this is not our complete lineup. Basically, most of the old familiar faces are still here. It's just due to the extracurricular activities that we've been indulging in for the past, 5 or 6 days. A few people just are they're exhausted. They're worn out. It's not that they're here with us in spirit, but right now they're probably all passed out somewhere. So don't fret, anyone who's concerned, like they're looking for a specific someone, like, oh, that person isn't here. That sucks. Oh no, they're all here. You haven't lost anybody. The family is still together. It's just like I said, a lot of us are tired. You guys have been putting us through the mill lately, so we're a little bit worn out, but we're here.
And me, I'm just physically tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being so dark.
It's the high-low fumes. They're bringing out the dark side of things.
Oh,
you gotta stop huffing that diesel of that forklift, man.
Yeah.
It's propane.
I've worked with propane. Oh, my God, I know exactly. I can't wait.
Same difference.
No. He's going to start getting the hallucinations soon. If he isn't careful. I worked a propane forklift for about 2 years when I was doing a carpet warehouses.
Yeah.
And you get the hallucinations where you swear to God that there's something going on in your peripheral vision. And you keep like looking over, and there's nothing going on. You look back, you just get like those peripheral hallucinations from the propane fumes after a while. Not good when you're driving. You see cars coming at you from the side, you swerve, and they're not there.
Well, I always try to make sure the line is not damaged in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I try not to drive around too much inside, because that's where all the fumes get trapped.
Oh, yeah.
JP wants to know if your boss is named Hank.
That boy ain't right.
That is ironic. You are working with propane and you are in Texas. I didn't put that together myself.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So is everyone else experiencing a disgusting heat wave?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
getting mad rain up here.
I came home today and my undershirt was like I had just been swimming. And I wasn't even out there for very long.
It was so bad last night when I left. I couldn't leave the house to get my wife. I had to wait a few minutes because the rain was that severe and the lightning was that intense. I was actually afraid I was going to get struck just going from the front door to the driveway. Today, to give you an idea, I had to drive around for 45 minutes. I couldn't find a gas station that actually had their machines running right, so you could like use a card. They were all cash only.
Yeah.
Because everyone, their systems got fried. I mean, I was driving down the highway, and I was just watching lightning strike we don't get lightning storms like that around here, you know?
What the fuck? I thought the Empire State Building was built to be a giant fucking lightning rod.
Right, but that's my whole point is we don't normally get lightning. Like the lightning, it usually just concentrates in Manhattan because of the height of the buildings. Like we'll get thunder and lightning, but you can just sit here and watch it all strike off in the distance because you know it's hitting the skyscrapers. Just it goes for the highest thing.
Yeah, because they all have lightning rods on the top.
Right. So it doesn't but I'm saying I was driving down the highway and it was just lightning strikes everywhere. And if I didn't have to this is another reason I need a GoPro. I can bolt the damn thing down because like I can keep two hands on the wheel. Because somebody had said something about it in the comment section of the Cunt stream when I was on like 3 or 4 weeks ago when I did the video of me driving over the bridge. My wife has an Acura ILX, I think it is, or whatever it is, the small one. It's basically a Civic but with leather seats. It's like a 700-pound car. So like I'm driving in the thing today. And I couldn't let go of the wheel to film any of this shit because I was afraid the car was going to swerve. But, oh my God, the lightning. It was actually starting to scare me. I thought like the car was going to get struck. That's why I was asking if everyone else is having okay weather, because this is really bizarre for this time of year over here. We don't normally get like that South Pacific lightning. Well,
I'll say it's actually been a little cooler this week. The 2 weeks prior was quite warm. We had multiple days in triple digits.
Yeah,
and it was so not generally safe to be outside for very long because the UV index was like bursting at the seams. But we got through it, and it's been a lot milder the last few days. And there was an interesting little thing where I was out and I was doing something, and a little black rain cloud. It's almost like a stereotypical black rain cloud, little tiny one, passed over the my place of business, my workplace, and it was bright and sunshiny, but all of a sudden it just started like sprinkling. It's like, and I said, "What the hell is that?" It's looking around. It's the day was bright and sunny, and I just happened to look straight up, and straight up there was this little black rain cloud, this little tiny black rain cloud. And it, slowly passed over and dropped about 5 minutes worth of rain. It was like, really, this is really kind of weird. And I took a picture of it. Actually, I can show you the picture later. I took a picture of the tiny black rain cloud.
You keep making me think of that song by Winnie the Pooh. Oh, come on. None of you guys remember it?
I'm trying to think.
The blustery day in the 100-acre wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a little black rain cloud. Nobody worries, no, not a bunch, or something like that.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
I got 18 nieces and nephews. That's one of the reasons I remember the lyrics. I've seen it so many times. I actually prefer Winnie the Pooh. It's one of the least innocuous ones, like the rest of them. Like, I can't watch the ones that have like too many musical numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, your head will explode.
Yeah, you know what it is? I don't mind. Like I myself am one of those people. I like jazz, but if I'm sitting there and every 5 minutes is brass and percussion, oh God, no, I can't take that shit. All the colors. It's like a really bad LSD trip that you're being forced to endure over and over again.
Oh, how I am when I watch the original heavy metal.
That's not that bad. That's enjoyable, at least, and entertaining.
Nah, after like the 20th time, it's just like, oh my God, now I'm getting dizzy.
You know what one I hated? And I mean, I'm patriotic. I love Eagles, but I hated it because of my nephew. Made me watch it over and over and over. The Rescuers Down Under with that fucking eagle.
You know what? You know what? I kind of like that movie, and I would never have watched it because by the time it was even brought up in conversation, I had been boycotting Disney, much like you are boycotting Disney right now.
Yeah.
I've been boycotting them for the better part of like 20 years, and so I just happened to be talking to somebody about the Rescuers Down Under, and it was like she seemed to really like that movie. So okay, I'll give it a shot. I've never seen it. I remember watching the original and really enjoying it. So why the hell not? So I watched it, and I was actually quite impressed because it's some of the earlier melding of 3D CGI animation with traditional animation.
Yeah.
So it was kind of really interesting to see what they did back then, and it's actually holds up quite well today. Another interesting thing is that the lizard character
Hmm.
in the film is actually voiced by, get this, Frank Welker.
Really?
Bullshit.
Who's
Frank
Frank
Welker.
Welker?
The voice of Megatron.
Yeah.
Oh,
Autobots, move out.
That was Peter
Same
Cullen.
guy. No way, huh?
That's Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime. Frank Welker was Megatron. He was a few of the other characters.
Yeah.
No, I
Was-
could have swore he did Optimus at one point, didn't he?
no, Frank Welker was Megatron. Chris Latta was Starscream. He also did the voice of Cobra Commander.
Okay.
Let
That's news to me. I could have swore that there was an offshoot that he did where he actually wound up doing Optimus at one point.
Yeah, there was a lot of crossover between the voice acting cast of the Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
They
Peter
were
Cullen.
done. Yeah, they were
Mhm.
done by the same studios. They were done. Their animation was done by
what
the
the
same.
fuck are you wearing, Burnside?
I don't know. I decided to be creative. I tossed on my hat, my goggles I normally wore. This is the shirt that I got from Old Man Rizzo. I tossed on my colors. And this is an old mask that I made that I, for the most part, decommissioned because the motherfucker never stays on. And in order to keep it on, I took another bandana and I tied it around ninja style.
So you look like some old woman with a
With a
With
toothache.
Yeah.
toothache.
Pretty much.
Ouch!
Yeah.
My tooth hurts. I'm smoking a pipe at the same time. and
Yeah,
my tooth
because
hurts.
I designed this particularly like Ninja Fang, so it would look like a shinobi mempo.
Ah,
But
okay.
the problem is the material I made it out of, it constantly would fall down. So what I had to do, what I wound up having to do is I wound up basically having to go ahead and make the rest of the whole shinobi head wrap.
So
And-
Burnside, your new nickname is Toothache Ninja.
Ninja.
I
All
like
right,
that.
cool.
That's nice. But I think you were saying those six. What was it? Was it LJN? They were the ones that they were the animation house, if I recall, that was handling both Transformers and GI Joe for Marvel.
Yeah, and they also did the animation for the pilot for what would have been the X-Men TV series that never got picked up.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that.
Yeah, and
Wasn't
let's see.
that Generation X that they called it?
No, this was you ever play the X-Men arcade game?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, the X-Men arcade game is based on that pilot.
Huh.
right on.
What
It's,
about the one
yeah.
for Sega? Because I've played one or two for Sega. Are they based off it?
I'm not sure, but what I do know is that the video game was based on, from what I understand, what the first season would have been.
Interesting.
You know, it's funny. I was a huge, enormous GI Joe fan when I was a kid. Specifically, the comic book by Larry Hama. It's it's very, that's very nerd centric. It's considered by most comic book nerds to be probably one of the best written series of American comic books. It's the whole series was written by Larry Hama. I think out of 154 issues, he wrote 148. I think he only missed an issue for the birth of each of his children, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's how dedicated this man was to this book. For those of you not familiar with the G.I. Joe comic book, Larry's other work that he was famous for with Marvel was The Nam, his book about Vietnam. It was a very good book also.
Just wanted to say hi to Jacob. He said hello in the chat.
Hey, Jacob. But yeah, I was a very big fan of G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and I don't know how much did you guys follow it back in the day?
The G.I. Joe comic book, I had a few issues. Mostly, when I was at the grocery store with my mom, there was a little magazine rack that had these comic book 4-packs that I always like to get.
Mm-hmm. This is good shit.
And a lot of them were G.I. Joe comics that they packaged into these 4-packs. So I would get some G.I. Joe comics, some Ghost Rider, some Spider-Man, Thor, so on and so forth.
It's funny because if you ever read the comic books, it's based on the rise of the Cobra organization in the American Midwest in the late 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what they are is a social democratic terrorist organization.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's why I get such a kick out of it. Yeah,
Cobra.
they're base. Yeah, it's basically communism light is the way that their whole structure is set up, because there's different times where they raid the bases in the book, and they're like,
Bernie Sanders is Cobra.
They call themselves democratic socialists.
Hillary is Cobra.
No, literally, there is an organization out there. I just had this talk with Nightcrawler because he was asking me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said Cobra says they're democratic socialists, right?
The way the structure is set up, yes. In the way the structure is set up in the comic book, that's exactly. It's democratic, and they're ran by a council, but it's basically they go with the majority vote, majority rule, but it all comes down to whatever the commander says goes. So they basically that's the whole way the organization is set up is there's a board, there's the commander. But the board and the commander will they'll overrule it, but they usually will go with what like the majority goes with. So it's true democracy to an extent. It's like a controlled form of democracy. It's democratic socialism. That's the best way I can sum up the way that it looks.
Well, it's thing about that there's actually an organization in America that's gaining a lot of steam that is democratic socialist, and they say they're democratic socialists. To such a degree that they actually used a variant of George Orwell's 1984 Ingsoc logo. Yeah. And John Pierre says that he thought they were fascist. And let me see here. Someone else that was making a funny comment. Oh, Jacob. Yeah, you got that coming right up, man.
Yeah, the Cobra shares a lot of similarities with also Marvel's Hydra.
That's actually who they were based upon. That's what I was getting at. What it was actually was originally G.I. Joe was supposed to be Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they did a reskin, and they came up with G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. So Duke was actually based on Nick Fury. All of the different characters were based on the different Howling Commandos. They did a reskin to that the same way that they did a reskin to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was actually Conan that didn't get picked up. So they reskinned it. A lot of the things that they did in the 80s were actually reskins of other things that got pitched that didn't get picked up. They had already built up all this shit anyway, so they said, okay, fuck it, we'll tweak it and send it out as something else.
Another thing you might find interesting is that the G.I. Joe cartoon was not, in fact, based on the toy series. It was actually based on the comic book, because at the time it was illegal to have a cartoon based on a toy series for whatever reason. So it's actually based on the comic book.
Yeah.
That's weird as fuck.
And He-Man and She-Ra, the toys were based on the cartoon.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. You can do it the other way around, where you can make a cartoon series then toys, but you can't take toys and then make it a cartoon. What the hell kind of law is that?
No idea.
That's just how the laws were back then. That's kind of a good thing because it actually made for a better storyline. To be
better
frank.
Storyline. Because now you got all these toys coming out, and then people, kids are making their own ideas, and parents toss it to the creators, and they're like, "Oh, let's make a cartoon of this," and it's just like it's shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
it really
that's
is.
why you normally don't have children be your writer.
Yeah. And it's funny because I tell people all the time whenever they ask me, name some of your favorite books. And my favorite comic book of all time is probably G.I. Joe issue 99. And it's I tell people, if you can get your hands on that book, it's a masterpiece of writing. It's Machiavellian. Just you find out, you see the way that Larry Hama wrote this book. He wrote the character Cobra Commander as the ultimate villain, and he really, he's one of the top 100 villains of all time in books, specifically because of how he was written by Larry Hama. He is not a cartoon character at all, not like how he's portrayed in the animated series. This guy's a real villain in the comic book. Tries to kill his own son. By burying him alive. He's just as a writer, you don't really get the opportunity to write a villain like that, and Larry he did a phenomenal job with writing this. He created a character that was, as far as I'm concerned, benchmark. It's a benchmark character. Probably one of the better benchmark characters of the 80s. I would put the way that Larry Hama portrayed Cobra Commander in the comic books, I'd put it up as right up there with Vader. Just like Darth Vader has that much presence. Yeah, just the amount of presence. But the thing is, the way that the commander is, he's not a physically imposing character. It's not that. This is a ruthless, evil person. I mean, just pure evil. And it's a joy to read. It's one of those things like when you read the Red Skull, you're not supposed to like the character. What's the joy of it to read is, it's this character, and he's so vile.
Oh yeah, he does all the crazy shit that you wouldn't expect anyone to do. That's the cool thing about Red Skull.
Yeah. And it's vile and reprehensible and repulsive what this guy does, but at the same time,
hey Optimus Christ,
how are you? It's just the way that he carries himself when he does it. It's just the nonchalantness. It's like rye or whole wheat. It's like, okay, am I going to blow up the building or am I going to firebomb the field of peasants? It's just done with such devil-may care, and
yeah.
You have to really read the collected volumes and read the way Larry writes the character to appreciate what I'm saying. It's just, it really is a joy to read.
You bring up rye. Are we talking Baby Swiss? What the?
Before you segue, let me get something else really quick.
That's funny.
Larry is definitely one of the better writers. But I was going to say, if you're into reading a good villain. And like I said, you can read the G.I. Joe books, but if you want pound for pound good villain, I was going to say anything written by Denny O'Neil. Anything written by Denny O'Neil. His run on Iron Man is the shit of legends. He's the one that the whole Ironmonger debacle, that was all Denny O'Neil. Ironically, we got Optimus Christ in the chat. The name Optimus Prime was actually it was coined by Denny O'Neil. And Denny O'Neil, as far as I'm concerned, Batman was drawn by Norm Brayfogle and written by Denny O'Neil, and that's all I can say about that.
Straight Sith Mail says there's a difference between Vader and King Cobra. Vader sounds like James Earl Jones. King Cobra sounds like the lead singer of AC/DC.
Yeah,
Cobra Commander. Yeah, Cobra Commander's voice. Again, that's the cartoon. You got to read the comics. I'm talking. This is a Machiavellian character, and Larry's books are they're a pleasure to read. Really, to anybody who enjoys comic books, it's because it's a toy and because it's a license. Because it's a licensed product, a lot of people overlook it. And I tell people all the time, when it comes to comic books, believe it or not, licensed products are some of the best books you're going to read from those eras. I'd recommend anything from Dark Horse, anything Aliens, Predator, Terminator, or RoboCop from Dark Horse are some of the best books you're going to read.
I actually got a good bit of Hellboy from Dark Horse.
I am going to invite Optimus Christ in because he just said, he just pointed out that Optimus Prime was originally supposed to be a villain.
Oh no,
my man! All
right,
very cool.
Damn. Yeah, get him in here. Get your fucking metal ass in here, Optimus.
I've heard Jacob. Glad you brought that up. I've heard rumblings of a ROM Space Knight film being developed.
I've heard that too. I have heard that too.
And I told you guys a long time ago. Mark my words.
There will be a sequel.
There will be a ROM Space Knight film.
That might be part of the acquisition merger I was telling you about. Hey, Optimus Christ, what's going on?
Autobots, lick my ass.
That was pretty impressive, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks. I do a lot of voiceovers, so bit of selfless advertising. So yeah, Optimus Prime was actually in the lore a villain. And even through the stories of villain, because of the fact is the makers, when they created Cybertron and the race of Cybertronians, they originally wanted to take over Earth for its energon. They didn't consider humanity to be a sentient life form. So they were like, if you ever watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the Vogon, it's like, well, we're going to clear out Earth for, like an interstellar highway, or bypass. Same fucking thing here. Okay. It's like, well, we're going to take it over because humans are animals to us. Optimus Prime went against everybody in Cybertron and the makers to protect humanity, ergo being the villain.
Huh.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
That's really cool. I hadn't followed the lore too much.
And the Decepticons were actually the archangels of the makers, because they were like the glorified bounty hunters that stopped primes, which was the classification for them, because the primes had become a guerrilla warfare unit against Cybertron because their beliefs didn't stack up with Cybertronians.
That is so cool. That is really cool. I'm kind of sorry I stopped following the books. Was that all on the stuff on IDW and Top Cow?
No, that's original lore. Like, we're talking 80s lore.
Really?
Awesome.
So you're talking like the original Marvel books?
Yeah.
I was going to say, that is such a hard series to get all the old books. I mean, now the internet can solve that problem. But when I was a kid, because you had to not only get the American books, then when they stopped, you had to get the UK books. And if you didn't know what number sequence they were in, sometimes you were having that overlap.
Oh, yeah.
I had one issue.
Apparently, what Straight Sith Mail is saying is that the last movie that George Orwell did was the 1980s Transformer movie. I didn't know that. Dude, that actually is pretty damn neat.
Orson Welles.
With the Michael Bay movies, like I followed the Transformers lore so much that I kind of chuckled a bit when they actually followed it somewhat. When you see like the bounty hunter coming back, and it's like to capture Prime, because that was a prison ship for the makers.
Yeah.
All the other primes were there too. And people didn't connect 2 and 2 together that the primes were actually villains.
Well,
That's-
I mean, in the eyes of humans, if
Yeah.
they're going to protect us, that makes them the hero.
That makes them the hero, but that's only from our point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But don't give Michael Bay credit. Come on. That's just
Michael Bay, all he's
actuality,
good
the
for is
fact that,
oversized explosions, which leads him to overcompensating for something.
Yeah, because the thing that Michael Bay likes to do is he likes to do a lot of this.
Like how he decided to create Galvatron, fuck him and his fucking fascist creation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Fuck
movie
him
really bothered
and
me.
the horse that he rode in on.
okay. Thank you.
Seriously.
Here's my understanding of it. Okay, so the species that are the Autobots, Decepticons, all the robots, that they need energon in order to live. The
Mhm.
actual planet that they had on was decimated by the Civil War the two of them had, because basically they were in an energon crisis, and they're like, okay, well, this mud ball is filled with a bunch of monkeys, so we're going to take it over. And then Optimus Prime was like, but these monkeys have a right to live. And they're like, well, go put them on a fucking sanctuary then. We're going to take the fucking planet. And he's like, no, that's not right. And then they started a literal war that decimated Cybertron.
Sort of.
And-
Okay, so on Cybertron there was the Energon crisis. And then what happened was there was expeditions to go out to other planets to search for Energon. The Primes were actually part of that expedition, to go out and search for planets. Well, when Earth came up and humanity was there, they had several classifications. If they had a sentient life, they were not to be touched. Well, Cybertron as a whole decided that humanity was not sentient enough to grant being left alone. And that's when the Primes basically put their foot down and was like, no, they're capable of great things. This is not going to happen. And in the lore, it actually happened with a few other planets as well, with different, species that weren't designated sentient by Cybertronians and the Maker. So what the lore focused on was humanity, but in all actuality, I think there was like a total of 4 different civilizations.
Interesting. I definitely have to look into that, because that sounds fucking cool.
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, because I've read so many different versions of the lore, isn't it when you go back even further? Cybertron and Unicron, aren't those actually like sibling Transformers?
Unicron is actually one of the Makers.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So the way, and with Jacob Navo, how does Beast Wars fit in? I was hoping somebody asked that question, because when they came out with Beast Wars, they actually turned it into canon.
Oh, no way. Because I was a big fan of Beast Wars when I was a kid. I loved watching the shit out of that.
Yeah, so
And
they turned.
I hated Beast Wars.
You just made me feel old. I was a big fan of Beast Wars when I was in college.
Look, Beast Wars and Reboot were both my shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Reboot.
So when Beast Wars came in the first season, right?
Mhm.
It was kind of a spinoff, and they're like, okay, well then the producers of like the Transformers, overall, they took a look at it. It's like, you know what, that actually kind of makes sense, which is the reason why in season 2 you find the original Optimus Prime and the Ark when they go into the cavern.
Nice.
And the original Megatron, and then they merge their sparks with them, because remember, Megatrons and the Primes are a collective. It's sort of like the Primes are a knighthood and the Megatrons are the glorified bounty hunters, the Maker.
Yeah. Interesting. I will have to go back, and I'll have to actually watch Beast Wars now once I get done with Gundam X after.
Yeah, so if you notice, they passed it off as the Optimals. They passed it off as a science expedition. But what you don't see, or what other people fail to see, is there's that split moment where when Megatron comes in with his ship, they spot him, and then there's that look in the face like, okay, this is the target we've been looking for. Let's get him. And then they start the whole fight. after jumping to hyperspace or whatever it is, and they actually jump to a prehistoric Earth.
That's so cool. That really is so cool.
And the thing is, in the second season, when they find the Ark and the original Prime and the original Megatron, why is the original Megatron not in a cage or in a prison? They were both sitting side by side. What does that tell you? It was part of the original expedition before the Civil War on Cybertron where they were actually working together.
Yeah. That's so wild. That is really cool that the lore goes that deep.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, imagining Megatron and Optimus fighting side by side as allies. Can you imagine how brutal that would be?
Yeah.
So, think about
well,
that.
It wasn't so much as fighting side by side. It was more like surveying planets. And basically humanity was animals to be terraformed out of existence or cyberformed out of existence, so to speak.
Yeah, I remember seeing the movie in theaters. There was no theaters in my neighborhood, so we had to go into Queens to go see Transformers the movie back in '87. Did that movie fuck me up? Holy shit! I can't believe, like, I got the 25th anniversary edition disc, and I was watching a documentary on it, and the guy actually has the balls to look at the camera and be like, "Well, we just assumed that children would know that these are robots and not really alive, so we didn't think there would be any problem with them getting smoked on screen right and left."
Well, let me tell you, G.I. Joe the movie.
Oh my God!
Released about a year later. And due to the negative backlash of them killing off Optimus Prime, the producers thought better of killing off Duke.
Yeah, they just left all that sci-fi shit in that gave everyone nightmares.
They had originally planned on killing Duke.
Yeah.
But because people were so pissed off about Optimus Prime getting killed off, they had a revelation. And
are you talking about the 2000s ones?
No,
the old ones, the ones from the '80s, the cartoons.
Oh yeah, when they kill them all.
Yeah.
And Transformers the movie was released in 1986. G.I. Joe the movie was released in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
And the year between, there was a huge backlash because of the Optimus Prime death. So when it came to writing the ending of G.I. Joe the movie, Duke survives because they didn't want to piss off everybody.
You know, I think I told you.
The thing with Optimus is he can come back. That's the thing they've proven time and time again. Each of these machines that die, whether it's like Optimus, Starscream, any of the rest of them, they have their spark. They can still come back.
Okay, so that's a misconception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So basically what happens is that the maker has created artifacts to help the resurrection process. It's not just I'm resurrected, I'm up and at 'em. No, the spark is like the soul, right? The soul needs to rejuvenate. That takes time. Now, these artifacts help that. The only way for the spark to rejuvenate is with the help of these artifacts. If there is none of these artifacts around or none can be obtained, they're basically in a near-death state and they're going to die shortly.
Unless isn't there, though, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a Cybertronian holding cell? I think it was Bruticus, if I'm not mistaken, was assembled by Starscream utilizing all the components that he found, like of the old. He was when he got stranded in the South Pacific. I'm going from the cartoon. When he found all the World War II vehicles, and he flew to Cybertron to one of their detention centers, and it gathered the sparks that were actually in there. I remember he shot up the detention center after he left.
Yeah, I
remember what he
that.
did. Yeah.
Well, if you remember when sparks, when basically how death occurs is when a spark leaves the body, right?
Right. Right.
Now the spark equates to a soul, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
soul does not maintain personality.
Right.
So
Right.
if that spark goes into a different body, that's a whole new different personality. You're basically wiping the slate clean.
Gotcha.
That's why you see in Star Wars, or not Star Wars, shit, fuck, I'm tired, I'm sorry.
No worries.
In Beast Wars, where one spark was taken out because the morphic, ooze that was in the stasis pod that was supposed to be, primal, was put into another one. And the personality, notice how they said in that episode, the personality changed. It wasn't even like that, it was that person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it does not maintain personality. It only maintains the essence of, say like a carbon copy of what they were supposed to be, only without the personality, emotions, or feelings or memories.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Jean Pierre wants to know, why was there no Star Trek cartoon movie? Because the fucking cartoon sucked.
I love the cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon was awesome.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed some episodes of the cartoon better than the actual live action series.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand the cartoon.
Never heard of there being a cartoon of it.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
they're all on Netflix.
I know what I'm doing in a few minutes then.
I was going to binge watch some Mystery Science Theater today, but
But now he wants to binge watch Transformers.
that was called Star Trek, actually.
Yeah.
This guy talking about it. And I need to trek. I need to trek myself. Trek myself. Anyway.
Correct yourself before you break yourself.
Oh,
We were talking about Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Didn't plan on this with me coming in, did you?
No.
No, this is actually really good. I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about G.I. Joe and Transformers, I got an obscure one for you. Let's see if you guys remember this. You remember the Bionic Six?
vaguely.
Vaguely.
Oh God, how could you guys not remember the Bionic Six to detail? It was a family, and they had a couple of surrogate kids. They were real. It was actually, you think about it, this cartoon would probably be perfect for nowadays, because the surrogate kids, it was progressive. One kid was black, one kid was Asian. I don't know who the fuck the other kid was. I don't remember, but I remember because the family, like, they got into some sort of stupid accident, and they wound up all having to get like these bionic implants. And it had a great soundtrack, I remember, and the villains were fucking fantastic. It was supposed to be, I think, like in the 2050s or something. The animation was really good. It was just, I think, probably one of the most underrated cartoons of that era. And you know what else I would put right up on the same level with that? Legends of the Galaxy Rangers. You guys remember that one?
There was a toy series based on the Bionic Six.
Yep. Yeah, there was. The action figures were really good. They were die-cast. Yeah,
Okay,
they
so
were all...
Jacob, I apparently have to say this every time I see Jacob. Autobots, transform and roll out.
Nice.
Dude, you do a good job.
Let me ask...
Optimus Christ, because Jesus can't turn into a truck.
And you're apparently the de facto savior of mankind.
But let me ask you though, Optimus. I'm sure you was happy as I was when you seen the movie in theaters and you heard Peter Cullen. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
The first movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, there we go.
All right, I'm gonna reload my pipe. I'll be back.
Like, I remember watching it in the theater, and that's the thing. I tell people all the time, when you get to be a certain age and you get something like that dropped in your lap, I just remember, like, it's one of those things where, you look at it like on a television, and because you've seen it enough times already, you're used to it, it doesn't have the same effect. But I was thankful because I was there opening night, and I had good seats in the audience. And just when he first appears on the screen and you hear the voice, the younger people in the crowd, they were like, ooh, ah. But then, like, all the adults were like raising out of their seats and shit, because it's you grew up your entire life as a young person. Like, there was a good 5 years of your life. This was your hero on television, like 5 days a week. You come home from school and
you heard the voice, and What was disappointing is that we didn't get Frank Welker as Megatron until the fourth movie, when he first voiced Galvatron, and in the fifth film, he's voicing Megatron.
Well, remember Leonard Nimoy's part.
Yeah, that was cool. He was Galvatron in Transformers the movie back in '86.
Well, also he was
Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, he was Sentinel and the Michael Bay one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jean-Pierre says, Terracin, thoughts on Captain Planet?
By your powers combined, I am Captain Faceplant. What?
Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero.
I don't
I
know.
love
communism.
I will see your Captain Planet and raise you Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Before we get too far.
Fuck your Toxic Avengers. Give me Swamp Thing.
I will see your Toxic Avenger, and I will raise you a Sergeant Kabuki Man.
All right. Irv had something to say, but before we do this, I just got to get thermonuclear and say Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Boom. What were you saying, Irv?
Oh god, no! It was a Captain Planet thing. It's like a Captain Planet meme. It's like a long poster, and it's doing the whole thing: Earth, air, wind, water, bears. And I don't know why it makes me laugh out loud every time I see it.
I would have probably added, by your powers combined, I am Man Bear Pig.
I was actually.
I could possibly raise you guys on is. Now, pardon me if I don't remember the name, but I used to watch this when I was a kid. I believe it was an action cartoon. I believe it was called Dinosaurs Rad or something like that, where it was actually a whole bunch of like punk rock humanoid dinosaurs.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was basically the same thing as Beast Wars, except rehashed with dinosaurs and like this 80s hair metal type cartoon. That was kind of like
probably way after my time there.
I mean, it was trying to remember. It was take Beast Wars and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and make dinosaurs.
All right, fine. I'll take that and I'll raise you Street Sharks.
I was gonna say the Street Sharks, and
all right, I will take your Street Sharks and I will raise you SWAT Cats.
He beat me to it, the bastard. He beat me to it.
I will take your SWAT Cats and I will raise you Samurai Pizza Cats.
I already put it in the chat.
No, that's Irv. Sorry, you gotta pick it up.
I'm not looking at it.
What was the one cartoon where one of the main people were like nothing but bones and the other one was a lizard?
They
They had these two twins that popped their head off.
That was that was the one they were. It was a sports. They were actually supposed to be like some sort of mutant athletes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, John Pierre raises us Samurai Jack.
That was a great cartoon.
That was an amazing cartoon. Okay, Jean Pierre, I will take your Samurai Jack and I will raise you the Mighty Ducks cartoon.
That was cool. I like that cartoon.
Well, I mean, if you're talking based on ability, Samurai Jack would beat that.
He definitely beat that.
Does anyone remember that piece of shit cartoon Pro Stars?
I was just gonna say it. Goddamn, everybody keeps beating me to shit.
All right, fine. I'll take everyone's movie suggestions, and I'll raise you.
Oh,
Popeye.
fuck you, John. I was gonna say that one next. Sorry, what were you saying after this?
I'll raise all of them to Popeye. How about that?
Oh, that's a good one. Jean Pierre says, "I raise you Gargoyle."
Nice.
That was a great.
Gargoyle.
I used to actually have the board game, but my dumbass kid self-destroyed it because I'm a dumb fucking kid. And
Bebop doesn't count. It's not American.
Yeah.
We're going off American. Good idea, John, but U.S.
There was a cartoon series. It was they would take every day. They would rotate in one of the episodes from the Marvel Power Hour. They had a Fantastic Four cartoon. and they had like I forget what the other characters were, but they would have that, and they'd have in original cartoons with it. One was the Tiger Sharks, where these people would go into these machines and would give them like amphibious abilities. It was kind of like Thundercats. And the other cartoon that they had on in the slot also, it was like they would show these 3 cartoons within an hour. It was called Karate Cat.
Yes,
And
Karate Cat.
Oh,
it was-
okay. Straight Sith male races us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and in response, Jean Pierre, I think he really takes it on this one. He says, "I raised you Chuck Norris Karate Commandos."
Fuck
Oh,
Chuck
yeah.
Norris.
All right. So if none of you remember this, then I don't know what to say, because number one, it's a bad show. It's so bad that you would remember it.
All
The
right.
Critic.
Yeah,
Yes, John
I
loved it.
love that. Are you kidding me? Come on, I'm a New Yorker. How can I not love that show?
This is
I-
great. I think we're making progress.
I will
It's
raise
streaming right
critic.
now on Crackle.
Okay,
I will see your
an American Celt says he raises you Godzilla Power Hour. I actually thought that was great.
Did you know that they remade Reboot?
They did? When?
They did.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And here's the kicker. I've watched the first 2 seasons. It's actually not bad.
Where is it?
Yeah, you sent it to us.
I can get a link after the stream. That's not a problem. I downloaded them,
Thank you.
and it's called the Guardian Code, and it's actually a sequel to Reboot.
Oh,
and it has
really?
in one episode, it actually has Mainframe.
Awesome. Does it still have Bob? Please tell me it still has Bob.
In that one episode, yes, it does have Bob.
Yay!
Damn it! Now I can't remember the thing I was going to raise you.
And,
What about
and
Enzo?
the reoccurring characters consistently for the first season was Megabyte. Second season, Hexadecimal came back.
Oh, I loved Hexadecimal. For some
you
reason,
know-
I always loved her. I wanted her to win.
Well, I mean, she
Okay,
is
let's
pure
see here.
chaos. You didn't know if she was going to do something good or something bad.
You know, I was thinking, does anyone remember the cartoon Garfield and Friends?
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
Garfield dead friends. Dun-dun-dun.
I was watching an episode of that the other day. I was flipping through YouTube and I seen it on there, and I put it on in the background and I'm listening to it. That show is severely underrated.
Yeah.
All right.
It
We
was
have from Jean Pierre. He says, "I raise you Mr. T cartoon," and in
Nah, fuck
response,
Mr. T.
yeah, in response, Straight Sith Mail says, "All cards down for Mice from Mars," and then he
like a
doubles
Mice
down-
from Mars.
Yeah, he doubles down with Scooby Doo. And American Celt asks, "Were there anyone seen NASCAR racers?" No, but I have actually seen the actual Hot Wheels cartoon movie miniseries they did.
You know,
I
it was
will-
good.
I will raise all of them. Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Bam.
Chip in.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
I can beat you with that. Do you remember the butt
John
ugly
Pierre,
Martian?
I raise you. I take your Tiny Toons and I raise you Anna fucking Maniacs.
Yes.
Ooh.
And I'll see you
Alright.
Animaniacs and raise you Pinky in the brain.
I'll take your
Oh,
pinky in the
same
brain and
difference.
raise you Tailspin.
Ooh. I take your tailspin and I raise you Duck Darkwing or no Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck,
Darkwing
yeah.
Duck.
I'll take your Darkwing Duck and I'll raise you Bobby's World.
I will
Oh,
take your.
motherfucker.
I will take your Bobby's World and raise you Duckman.
Ah, your
I take
Duckman would be
Duckman,
beaten
and
down
I
by
will
Inspector
Earth
Gadget.
World.
I take
Yeah.
your Duckman. No, I take your Inspector Gadget and raise you Widget the World Watcher.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'll take
All
your
right,
Widget
fine,
the World
fine.
Watcher and
Cow
I will
and
raise
chicken.
you.
Okay. Oh,
Cow
wait.
and chicken.
Richard has a good one to that. He says, "I take your cow and chicken and I raise you Johnny Bravo."
Nice.
All right. I will take your Johnny Bravo, Rich, and I will raise you. Now I'm going to do this solely just on the basis of the character Bob from Toonami.
Nice.
You know what?
All right,
I'll
I'm
take
gonna
your-
I'm
Because
gonna
Bob
squat.
from
I'm gonna
Toonami deserved his own fucking series with how they evolved that dude. He was a cool motherfucker. I love. That's the one thing that was cool about Toonami. They should have had a literal backstory. Oh no, he's got me fucking beat. Jean Pierre says, "I raise you Courage the Cowardly Dog."
no. I'm gonna put a squash to this right now
All right.
because it's the live action series Goosebumps.
Oh, okay. I don't have anything better than that.
No. I raise you. Are you afraid of the dark?
No. See, the thing is, Goosebumps outdoes Are You Afraid of the Dark because of the fact that it basically was a reading of the books.
No, it actually, Are You Afraid of the Dark outdoes it because they have an episode where the character is like, oh yes, I turned into a monster, and they're like, no, you didn't, and he's like, am I lying, Dad? And his dad comes in and eats his fucking friends.
I remember that episode actually.
Well, I will.
But the thing is, Goosebumps put a spin
John,
on the
thank you for the
Twilight
correction.
Zone.
Tom, not Bob. Sorry, I thought it was
Like
Bob.
Goose-
Thank you, Tom.
And I will raise
Goosebumps
you.
Put a spin on the Twilight Zone stuff.
We
Like
have
the
a chat
camera.
here. John Pierre says, "I raise you." Power Rangers, the 1990s original.
Nice.
Oh, he went specific. He said Green Ranger.
Yeah.
I
Green
got
Ranger.
something to beat that.
Mm.
It's a show about a teenager who turns into a car when he gets hot, called Turbo Teen.
I remember that. And I will see you, Turbo Teen, and I will raise you, Jason, the Wheeled Warriors. Bunch of plants that turn into muscle cars.
I'll take you, Jason, and I'll raise you, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Nice.
I take your Bill and Ted's and raise you. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes cartoon.
Nice. Nice. I did like that cartoon, though.
I will take your Tomatoes cartoon, and I will raise you Beetlejuice, the animated series.
Oh, you dickbag! But I love you.
I'm telling you can't beat that. Let's see here.
I
You know what?
it's
I can beat that.
Still
I can beat that.
Someplace scary, ghostly, haunting. I turn loose. Beetlejuice.
I can beat that. I can beat that. The Tick.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Well,
by the way, streaming
they have
right
a
now
live
on Crackle
action series
is
now.
the live action. The Tick is on Crackle.
Yeah. Okay. American Celt raises us. He's got two guns. The American Celt raises us Stormhawks and the Men in Black cartoon.
Nice.
Nah, fuck with those.
The
Silverhawk.
Men in Black cartoon wasn't actually all that great. I mean, in my opinion, because of the fact they had the same scenario every single episode. It's just, oh, hey, look, this one just includes a Balchinian. Cool.
Yeah. Balchinians. I love those guys.
Thundercats. Oh my God, did I love Thundercats when I was a kid. Thundercats and Silverhawks was definitely
Silverhawks.
Oh yeah, well, how about the magic fucking school bus?
Oh hell yeah!
You know it rides again. They made a continuance, only this time it's Miss Frizzle's little sister.
Oh, that's yeah.
When I went to the high school I went to was like for juvie hall. Basically, it was a juvenile. It was for bad kids, and it was great because one of the things they let us do if everyone got this classwork done good. This shows you why the country started to go to shit. When we all got our homework done, or the classwork done early enough, one of the teachers would actually throw on the Magic School Bus, and it was back when Carlin was on as Mr. Conductor. So I remember right before class would start, everyone would like go up to the tracks and they get boned out of their fucking skull. They'd all get high as a kite, and everyone would come and do their homework so we could sit there and watch Thomas the Tank Engine. Just because they're like, yeah, it's Carlin. I remember like whenever it was an episode with Ringo.
Then
like
after George Carlin, it was
Ringo. I just said it.
We got another good one. Okay, John Pierre raises Star Wars droids, and in response to Jean Pierre raising Star Wars droids, Rich Art doubles down and he says, "I raise you He-Man, the cartoon, and Ben 10." Okay, here's the question, Rich Art, which He-Man, original or reboot? That's the question.
The one thing I like is Spider-Man, the animated series, because that actually went along with lore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Spider-Man and Friends.
And I especially like
Amazing Friends. Sorry.
the episode where Morpheus comes in and he absorbs some of that ability and he actually turns into a fucking, a human spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That's let me see. That was the series. I think that series went on the air in '94 because it was actually
I think it was from like 94 to 96, I think.
yeah, because they had the crossover episodes with the X-Men.
Yeah.
And
my second favorite episode is where Madam Web introduced all the other Spider-Mans from all the other universes.
Yeah, that was the very first introduction of the Spider-Verse, the canon.
Yeah, and then like they even had like Ben on there, like the Scarlet Spider. They had Iron Spider, where if Iron Man and Spider-Man had a fucked up baby.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about Xena the cartoon, fuck out of here. Two Stupid Dogs is better than that.
Yeah,
Two Stupid
I
Dogs was
hated
great.
the cartoon.
But
couldn't
Xena with Lucy Lawless, Xena with Lucy Lawless, that was like my wet dreams when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
I was like, I'd bang the shit out of her.
Well, you know what?
Lucy Lawless is still fucking hot. So is Renee O'Connor.
Jean-Pierre has
let
a
me
good
tell you
one
about
to
this
replace Xena. He says, "I raise you Hercules, Legendary Adventures."
Oh,
Yeah.
before you raise anything,
I
I just
take
wanted
that
to make this comment.
Yeah.
Lucy Lawless has a lovely singing voice.
Oh yeah.
Yes, she does. When she sings on there, that's actually her.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was about to say. And I was like, oh yeah. You know what?
Her
Here,
and Renee O'Connor both sing on that show.
I'll raise everything right now. Beetleborgs.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Big bad Beetleborgs.
And the only thing that
Actually,
can
I raised
possibly
that.
top that is Kamen
VR
Rider.
Troopers.
No.
Kamen Rider.
I top that. No, Ren and fucking Stimpy.
Yeah.
Let me think. I'm trying to think now of all the obscure shit. Oh god.
I think you guys got me beat, man. I might have to fucking fold here. I can't think of anything.
You know what?
Oh,
No.
I just did.
Ren and Stimpy can't possibly mount up to the Bots Master.
I just remembered finally what I was trying to remember because I remembered the song now too. Marshall Bravestar. It was another one of those
Oh my
space
God.
westerns.
He's like
Yes.
the native guy, right?
Yep.
Jean-Pierre
Power of
says,
the Puma, speed of the Puma, strength of the bear and shit.
You remember the song lyrics? Holy shit!
No.
Yeah.
and I enjoyed Animorphs as well.
Jean-Pierre's
But Jean-Pierre
gotta- yeah.
says Kevin Sorbo is still fit. Have you looked at him recently? Like, trust me, I'm a major Kevin Sorbo fan. Like, we're talking Hercules, Andromeda, all the movies that he did in the 80s. The thing is now with all the whole God is, not dead with the religious ones that he's coming out with. I'm not a big fan of that because I'm not overly religious. But the way that he looks now is just downright, like, it looks like he fought cancer and won, but his body took the toll for it.
Yeah.
He does. He really, really does. That's why I can never have a wet dream about him again.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does suck when Father Time takes a bat to the people you like.
Yeah.
Well, he had a brain aneurysm, and he says he had, an out-of-body experience, which fine, whatever. But he was agnostic at best when he was doing Hercules, and then suddenly he's Christian.
That's why he stopped doing Hercules?
Yeah, that's why they had to kill Hercules. That's why literally all the fucking series started turning more towards the whole Christ thing, when they could have done a whole lot more with it, is because Sorbo was influenced Sam Raimi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sorbo was the face of Hercules at that time. I mean, everyone forgot the animated series
Speaking
stuff.
of Sam Raimi, I have
became the
one
face.
thing to raise, and this is probably the last card I have to play.
Evil Dead, fuck you.
No, Ash versus Evil Dead. Not just Evil Dead. Ash versus Evil Dead.
You know what? No. Ash versus Evil Dead cannot top Army of Darkness.
This is true.
Yeah, that's true.
If we're gonna, I almost forgot we were talking obscure cartoons before. I just got to whip out two things here really quick. They're both Canadian, and they are both to do with the same subject matter. One was Denver, the Last Dinosaur.
Yes.
And that was usually on before my favorite Canadian cartoon of all time, Dinosaurs.
Why do I
Yes.
know?
Dinosaurs was the Dinosaurs were the good guys, and they fought against the evil Tyrannos. And
That sounds familiar.
yeah, the Tyrannos all wore like red and black uniforms. They tended to have like a reddish or orange or purplish coloration to them. Black claws, just nasty looking things.
Yeah.
I can actually name all of the characters. Holy shit! I can't believe I remember them. The Tyrannos were the leader was Genghis Rex. The Ankylosaurus was Ankylo. The Brachiosaurus was Brachio. I guess they all had names like that. Basically, it was pretty much a no fucking brainer. But bro, yeah, look this up right now while we're talking. Look on YouTube, Dinosaur's intro, and see if you remember what I'm talking about. It is, oh my god, it's so 80s. So 80s.
Jean-Pierre, the show you're looking for is called Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, like flying saucers.
Jean-Pierre's, what's the name of the live-action 90s dinosaur family show? It was called Dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's Dinosaurs.
No, but I suddenly realized. There's a glaring hole in these cartoons that we're talking about, man.
What's that?
Visionaries.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard anyone mention the Sectors yet.
Well, one animated series.
I remember those things. I had the toys.
Well, you know how most often not like after movies, animated series doesn't go really well.
Mm-hmm.
One animated series that I really did enjoy, even after the movies, because I'm an avid fan of those as well, is RoboCop, the animated series.
Yeah.
No way they did that. Shit.
Yeah.
And
This was in the
Oh,
90s.
Jean-Pierre puts up Smurfs and Snorks.
Yes.
I was also going to say Disney's Gummy Bears. That was a fucking hilarious cartoon as a kid.
Oh my god, I can remember the lyrics too. Let me see. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Yep.
High
Okay,
adventure
hold on,
that's
hold on.
beyond compare.
How about this?
We are the
Monster
Gummy
Rancher.
Bears.
Monster
Yes.
Rancher, yes.
Definitely Monster Rancher.
The Pokemon before it was cool.
That was the American version of Digimon, and I love the shit out of it. Monster Rancher was fucking awesome.
Well, Monster Rancher. Okay, so Digimon and Monster Rancher came out around the same time. And in the US at least. So
But see, Monster Rancher was also
Monster
playing
Rancher is
off
more
of gamers because
Yeah.
he got sucked into a fucking PlayStation.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I can remember the Saturday morning lineup. Don't ask me why. It just popped into my head. It was Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. And then right after that was, let me see, it was Droids, then Ewoks. Then after Droids and Ewoks, it was My Pet Monster, and then Teen Wolf. And holy shit, how the fuck do I remember this?
Jean-Pierre says, what was the 80s cartoon that had the baby animals that wore t-shirts? They're called Shirt Tails.
Yep.
how about Recess?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Monchichis.
What about the Get Along Gang?
How about the
Never
Littles?
heard of the Get Along Gang.
Oh my god.
Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yeah, the Littles. Here come the Littles.
I'll raise you Johnny Quest with Johnny Quest X or Johnny Quest
Here
2000,
comes the
whichever one that was.
I raised you fucking Fraggle Rock.
Fuck. Shit. I will have to raise you.
Did you just break out Fraggle Rock? Okay, I'll beat that with Silver Surfer. Not a problem.
The only shit. I think you guys got me beat. I can't think of it.
Oh, I can think of something. What about the GoBots?
There we go.
JP mentioned it. JP threw it in there a while ago, man.
All right, I'm not watching the
yeah.
chat.
Well, how about Tailspin?
We already said Tails.
We already mentioned Tailspin.
Damn it.
Let me see
How
those.
about Pandemonium?
Nice.
Never heard of Pandemonium.
What about the Biscuits? Anyone remember that? It was kind of like the Smurfs, but they were little dogs.
Bananas in pajamas.
bananas and pajamas are coming down the stairs.
I'm about to hit
Okay.
you with a
So
tidal
where-
wave of Muppet
Wait.
Babies.
I have one.
Oh.
I have one to play.
Muppet babies.
Okay,
I've got two. I've got two. Okay, I will raise you these two cartoons, and then I think I might have to fold. I will raise you Rocco's Modern Life.
nice.
You know what?
I raised you Doug.
All right.
I will
Oh, John
raise-
John
Pierre's
Pierre's got it. The Adams Family cartoon.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I
Okay,
will
Jean
take your
Pierre.
Adams Family cartoon and raise you Dungeons and Dragons.
My man.
Third.
Okay, that's a tough one to beat. But if we're going back, where on
okay.
earth is Carmen San Diego?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. I have one. This is the other card I had. I will raise Carmen San Diego with Invader Zim.
nice. And I will see your Invader Zim, and I will match you Earthworm Jim.
I already mentioned that earlier.
I will take your Earthworm Jim and I will raise you Danger
Did you know
Mouse.
that Toxic Adventure was
Danger
a continuation
Mouse!
of Toxic Crusaders?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. And
I take your Danger Mouse, and I raise you Count Duckula.
nice. I'll see your Count Duckula, and I'll raise you Banana Man. And
Ooh.
yeah, if we're gonna go English cartoons, but
All right,
I was-
fine. Swamp Thing beats it.
Oh, John Pierre's got us. He
I
raised
said,
us.
but I said Swamp
Freakazoid.
Thing earlier.
yeah,
All right.
she did. I did hear it.
John, I think we mentioned the 90s Batman earlier, but I think you've got us beat with Freakazoid.
He took what I was gonna say. Damn it.
I don't know.
Well,
Freakazoid. I think Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm could beat that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I will take his Freakazoid and I will raise him Thundar the Barbarian.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice. If we're gonna go really obscure, I have to drop this one, and only because I can actually do a perfect impersonation of the character. The Punky Brewster cartoon, and she had this little creature. Its name was Glomer. It was this little creature that lived in a different dimension.
All right. So if we're going completely obscure,
Oh,
the
shit.
animated series of Dumb and Dumber.
Yes,
No. I got that beat. Alf the cartoon.
and I got
Okay.
that beat. Ed Grimley, The Adventures of Ed Grimley, voiced by Martin Short.
You know what?
All right,
We're gonna go.
I'll
We're gonna
take
go
yours.
so
You're Ed
obscure
Grimley.
and so retro it'll make your head spin. Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, you bastard.
I'll take your
Ernest
Ernest Goes to
Stupid.
Camp and I will raise you Bill and Ted's Animated Adventures.
I already said
I
that.
think you
I
mentioned
did.
him already. Six.
He beat me to it, 6.
I
You
went
gotta
to the
draw another
bathroom.
card, 6. Okay, in response to that, since Jean-Pierre is mentioning this, okay, Jean-Pierre, I will not only will I raise 6's card, I will raise your card, and I will raise you the Justice League.
Nice. I'm
Not the
surprised-
newer one, the 90s one, where they just started using the 3D for the intro, but the entire series was 2D.
I
Yeah.
will take your Justice League and I will raise you the Super Friends.
But you know what? I'll take your Super Friends and I'll raise you Gravedale High because it was voiced by Rick Moranis.
Nice. And I will see your Gravedale High, and I will raise you Orbit High.
Okay.
I
guys,
love
guys,
that
guys.
cartoon.
I got
Okay,
this.
the only thing I can raise in response is
What, Irv? What, Irv?
I'm out. I'm out. I've lost. I've got to go. Great game. Great.
Yeah, I gotta take off in just a minute here anyway too.
all right.
Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be at work, but yeah, I'll be here. Oh shit, John Pierre's got us. He says, "I raised you OG Teen Titans, the original."
No. I got that beat. Mummy's alive.
Night, Irv.
No, Jean-Pierre's got it beat. Hong Kong Phooey.
Damn it, he beat me to it. The only thing I can respond to Hong Kong Phooey with, I was saving this one. It was in the back pocket, but he really came out of left field. The Hair Bear Bunch.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'll take your Hair Bear
Bucky
Bunch
O'Hare.
and I will raise you one Jabberjaw.
I will take your Jabberjaw, and I will raise you Scrappy Doo.
Oh. Am I
No,
gonna have to let Snagglepuss out on all yours?
I'm gonna have to run over, literally like run over and bury him in sand with Dune Buggy.
I will crush your dune buggy with one big grape ape.
No. See,
I will take your
my
grape
man
ape and I'll raise
Magilla
another
Gorilla
one.
has it better.
Oh, fuck you. I was just going to say Magilla, damn
He
it.
can at least fit in a fucking car.
I don't know.
No, Jean-Pierre has us all beat. 1920s Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie.
I don't know. I still think I'm a Wally Gator fan more than anything else.
Oh, God. This is
Straight Sith. I was hoping you wouldn't go there. The MC Hammer cartoon.
What? The Hammer cartoon?
Okay, if we're going out there, I'm gonna have to drop this one. H&R Puffin stuff.
Hold on. The Wizard of Oz cartoon. It came on around the same time as the MC Hammer cartoon.
Richie Rich.
Yeah. Well,
Sabrina,
you remember
the Teenage Witch cartoon.
Yeah. What was her name? Oh my God.
Straight Sith got it. Pirates of Dark Water.
Yeah. That was such a great cartoon.
Darkwater was a great cartoon.
Hell yeah. Let me see, there was...
Okay, Jean-Pierre, I will take your BB's Kids and I'll raise you the Powerpuff Girl. The original,
Nice.
not the reboot.
Nice.
Ultimately known as Whoop Ass Stew.
No, I take that and I give you the Chang Gang.
Ooh. That's an obscure one. That's a very obscure one.
A lot of people wouldn't even realize this one being one of the obscure ones, but the Smurfs.
Already brought up. I do believe that was Jean-Pierre.
Did anybody bring up Mask?
No.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mask.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go
that
with one of my favorites. Gem in the holograms. She's totally outrageous.
I'm trying to think of the how the lyrics went for that one. Oh God, I can't believe it. I can remember it. It's just, well, I'm not going to try to sing it. Fuck no, I'm not going to try to sing that. But I can remember the lyrics to it.
To what?
To Gem, the intro song. Yeah, I used to watch that cartoon. I remember specifically because I was always saying to myself, "This guy with the white hair, why doesn't he try to rail her?" I was a kid. That's what I was thinking that as a kid. Like when they got stranded on that desert island together. I'm sitting there like, come on, why doesn't he just take her behind the trees? And I'm a kid thinking this, you know. But and I remember that cartoon. What was it? She was the secretary. She'd put on the magic earrings and would turn her into a rock star. If I'm not mistaken.
Anyone remember Lucky Luke?
Yes.
No.
I remember. What was? Do you guys remember the Galloping Ghost?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the lyrics are Gem is excitement. Ooh, Gem is adventure. Ooh, glamour and glitter, fashion and fame.
That's it. I remember it now. Gem is my name.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna put a little special in all your something a little special in all your drinks and raise you.
All right.
Fat Albert.
Oh.
Okay, I think Jean-Pierre's got you beat. He has the 18 and 1970s Hulk with Bill Bixby.
Ooh.
I got that beat with the live action Spider-Man from the 1970s.
Ooh,
How about
creepy.
Turbo Teen?
Wow. Yeah, you did bring that one
only
up.
13 episodes.
Yeah.
1984 and 85.
My favorite one is where he eats the chili peppers and turns into a car.
Okay, the only other cartoon I could probably think of, and I'm not sure if this is American or not, and it's one of my favorites. So correct me if I'm wrong. Code Lyoko. I know that's newer, but that's probably the only other thing I could bring to the table right now.
I don't even know what that is. It's after my time.
I gotta take off, but my parting shot will be Heathcliff.
Oh, Heathcliff, no one could terrify his neighborhood.
I love that show.
And I bid you all farewell.
I've actually named an orange cat Heathcliff. I also named one Garfield.
I loved Heathcliff because it was the only cartoon where everyone sounded like me.
Yeah, Heathcliff and Riff Raff. Those were two good, awesome characters.
And then there was Hector, Mongo, and Wordsworth.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You guys take it easy.
You got
Dennis
it.
the Menace.
All right,
Yeah.
you're around.
Ooh. Dennis the
I wa-
Menace. Okay.
That was
You know,
a good one.
my father hated that cartoon.
All 78 episodes
Charlie
of it.
Brown.
Charlie
Ah.
Brown.
Yeah.
You know what
To
I
be
liked
honest,
about
I was never really a fan of Charlie Brown. It was the same shit over and over again. You know you're never going to
Neither
kick
was
the
I.
fucking football.
You know, the one thing with Charlie Brown was when they came out with it in the 80s, when they had the weekly Peanuts show. And they had introduced Linus and Lucy Van Pelt's little brother, Rerun. And Rerun, you can look this up on YouTube. I used to laugh hysterical to the point where I would piss myself. I don't know why I thought this was so funny. There's an episode where they're blowing up balloons, and Rerun is trying to blow up the balloons, but for whatever reason, they keep turning into squares. I don't know why I thought that was hysterical, but that was probably the only thing I remember from that cartoon from the 80s that stuck out as far as the Peanuts go. But yeah, it was pretty much like the old hat. There was nothing really new or different to it. You know, they had their good moments. I mean, I still think one of the funniest things I have.
Oh, sorry about that.
So good. I was going to say one of the funniest things I ever seen was it's Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown, Snoopy getting his ass beat by the lawn chair.
Yeah.
Did anyone say Teen Wolf yet?
Yes, I
Yes.
said that earlier. I loved that show. Yeah. You know what it is? I had, because growing up here when I was a kid, you couldn't really go out much there was crime everywhere. So Saturdays I would stay in and watch all the cartoons. You know, I had to wait for my older brother to come home so I could actually go outside. You know,
How about Bionic 6?
Yeah,
We already said Bionic
I think
6.
that was mentioned already.
I think
that was
Too many
that was
names to
6
go through
actually
in
brought
order
that
to
up.
remember them all.
I'm going
Oh.
to raise you guys. What is it? Fuck. Fuck, I forgot.
All right. Well, while you're trying to remember, Optimus Christ, just to answer you, there was Father 1, Mother 1, Sport 1, Rock 1, Karate 1, and what the hell is the black kid's name? Was that Science 1? I can't
Jerome.
remember.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're talking.
I'm trying to think of like what his designation was.
The only thing else I could raise, and fuck me for not really watching it, Monster High, the cartoon.
Yes, that was a good cartoon.
Why do I not remember that?
But
Because
let me
it's
see.
more recent.
The doctor on Bionic 6, the doctor's name was Dr. Thaddeus. Oh God, I can't remember his last name, but his brother was actually the bad guy, Professor Scarab, and his real first name was Wilma, which I thought was hysterical. That's why I remembered it. But
that's why he was a villain.
Yeah, and the bad guys were Glove. They were Glove, Mechanic, Clunk, and Madam O. I have not seen this show in like 30 years. How the fuck do I remember that?
John Pierre's got a good couple few. He says Nash Bridges, early edition, NYPD Blue, Hill Street Blues, and he's got Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Airwolf, and Droopy. Goddamn, he played a whole.
Here's one you might not remember because I had a hard time remembering it. The animated series started in 1989, The Karate Kid.
I didn't know about that.
I remember that one. I didn't really watch too many episodes. I just remember the one episode from Australia where Mr. Miyagi does the same trick as Crocodile Dundee. That's the only episode I remember.
And it actually came along in the same block as Legend of Zelda.
Ooh, Texas Mail has a good one. He says Gumby.
Oh my God! You when you mentioned Legend of Zelda, you just made me think. What was it? Captain and the Game Master.
Mm-hmm.
The one where it was all the different Nintendo characters together.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah. They were all in the same Nintendo Power Hour. Because the one Captain and the Game Master, it was Mother Brain was the main villain, and her henchmen were the Eggplant Wizard, and oh God, what was the other henchman? It was another one of the big ones from the games. I can't remember, but I remember the good guys together. It was Link, and it was Samus, and I think was it Mario or Luigi? I don't remember, but it was like they were all.
Okay, we ran into one confusion here, and this is okay. Mario Brothers and all that. Is that technically U.S. or is that Japanese? Because Jean-Pierre just brought out the original
the
Pokemon.
cartoon was American.
The cartoon was American, as well as 1990. They transferred over from the Super Show to the Adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Jean, a Pokemon would have been a good one, but technically no, then since it's not U.S. But if the Nintendo Power Hour was technically Japanese, then you'd fucking have us nailed there with Pokemon.
Oh, how could I not have heard
your Power Hour, and I raise you, Lady Lovely Locks.
Nice.
How could I not have heard of remember this so far? New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, the cartoon. Although there was only like 3 episodes, that was it. It got killed after that.
I just remember
New Kids on the Block was 14 episodes, 1990 to 91.
I only ever saw like 3, and they kept rerunning the same fucking 3.
I just remembered the original arcade Power Hour. This predated the Nintendo Power Hour. This was like 82, 83. If I remember correctly, the lineup was Frogger, Cubert, Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong Jr. Those were the cartoons based on video games. I remember the Cubert one. They always hung out in, like, this pizzeria.
Well, I mean, they also had Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers as well.
Yeah, that was a few years later. That was the Nintendo Power Hour.
Okay, Jean-Pierre has 2 other good ones. He says, what about Beastmaster and Sheena?
Ooh.
Oh.
Anybody remember Aeon Flux?
Yes.
I never got to see that, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the Aeon Flux is actually Japanese.
Right,
no,
right.
It's not. No, it's not. 16 episodes, 91 and 95.
And Jean-Pierre, fuck you in that Mario Brothers movie.
I kind of like the live action movie.
First, you will be forced to watch it.
I know. I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
You know,
I watched it all the time.
If you don't
Dino
treat it
Squad,
as...
that's what I was trying to remember earlier. Thank you, Rich. Dino Squad. Yeah, that was the one with the dinosaurs. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I was gonna say though about the Super Mario Brothers movie? As long as if you just pretend it's not supposed to be Super Mario Brothers as a standalone movie, it's not bad.
Yeah, as a standalone movie, it's not bad. The only thing that got me through was, hey, look, it's not a canon, so it's getting its own right.
Yeah. And it was a very good movie. I like the way it was done. I remember when they were filming it here when I was a kid.
By the way, just want to remind everyone, fuck Michael Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck Michael Bay. Okay. American Celt raised us Roughneck Starship Troopers Chronicles.
Oh, yeah. That's a nut buster.
I haven't seen that one yet. Is it good?
Yeah.
Jean-Pierre loves all that shit.
Jean-Pierre raised him with Ace Ventura, the cartoon.
It was the explosions before Michael Bay was cool.
Yeah.
I remember the Ace Ventura cartoon.
Okay. Has anyone mentioned Beavis and Butthead?
No.
Yes.
That's been
mentioned in the chat.
Okay.
Jean-Pierre's got Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to name that one or not because, I mean, overall it was like more like a talk show host with like some heroics thrown in.
Nice. Okay, what about Daria? Has anyone mentioned Daria yet? That's probably like the only other card I can play.
I love Daria.
Yeah. I remember that. Wow. I haven't seen Daria. They're rebooting it now. I don't like when they reboot these things and they try to take the characters and pull them forward in time.
Yeah.
How about the terrible Thunder Lizards?
Nice. I was trying to remember the name of that. What was the name of those 2 cavemen? Were they Bob and Frank?
Oh, shit.
Richard has a good one. Danny Phantom.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I love Danny Phantom.
I believe it was Bill and Scooter.
I think so. I remember because the one, the short, heavy one with the blonde beard was the smarter of the 2.
Yeah.
And the taller guy with the red beard, he was always impatient. And I remember for whatever reason,
it was like the prehistoric Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Jean-Pierre wins Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I could raise to that, on Richard's Danny Phantom card on top of Harvey Birdman, I will mention Fairly Odd Parents
Yeah.
and Jimmy Neutron.
I think we should cut off after a certain year because at that point you got like the Gen Wires coming up.
Yeah. Like I'd say Jimmy
Like when
Neutron.
cartoons start going down a shitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to cut it off when cartoons, when you stop seeing guns. That's usually where I like to cut the line in the sand.
Yeah, I agree with that because there's nothing wrong with guns being fucking on television. It's
Oh,
that fucking
here we
bad.
go. Phantom 2040.
Yes,
Nice.
I remember that.
John Pierre's got
I
another
played
good
the
one.
video game.
He says Ed, and Eddie. Straight Sis Mail mentions Caveman. American Cult mentions Adventure Quest.
Adventure
Yes.
When they say caveman, are they talking Captain Caveman? Because
Yeah.
Straight
they
Sis
are.
Mail, please clarify as to whom you mean by Caveman.
yeah, I'm thinking he means Captain Caveman. That was a great show. Onga bonga.
Yeah,
Okay,
my father loved that
Highlander,
cartoon.
the animated series.
I'm sorry.
What is it?
Highlander, the animated series.
Yes,
Oh, that was
That
okay.
That was actually a pretty good show.
it was.
Here. Straight Sis Mail, 90s show of Land of the Lost.
Yes. Yes,
And
that
then
was
John
actually pretty
Pierre-
fucking good.
Yeah, that was good. John Pierre says the regular show.
I like that actually. Believe it or not, I liked regular show when I first seen it. My nephew told me, he's like, you got to see this. The characters are supposed to be your age. It was on, I think, like 10, 15 years ago when it first came on.
Nice.
And I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And
How about Mega Man?
yes,
I forgot about Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man was good.
And for those that want to say, it was Japan based, no, it actually was co-produced both in Japan and US at the same time, 94 to 95, total of 27 episodes.
Nice.
yeah, that was on in the same block with Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And yes, Straight Sis Mail has clarified. Yes, he meant Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog was a good one. Let's see here. Oh, regular show went that long. It ended in 2017. Okay. Just random question. Do we want to give anybody wrench?
Do we want to give any what?
Wrenches.
I give wrenches when I feel it's appropriate. Everything's fine right now.
Okay. Just
Sorry, no wrenches today, folks. Try back next time.
Well, there's
I
a
don't
reason
want a
why I
wrench
don't give
because
everyone
I can
wrenches is
right.
because one, a lot of people like having a wrench nose state, and two, I'm not having happen to other people what happened to me on someone else's stream.
Right.
Yeah,
And
if someone
Scooby
mutes me on
Scooby-
any stream, I'm
Scooby
just
knows
like,
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get too wrench happy. Now, no one here. The only time we ever mute anyone on stream is if like there's a lot of background noise and they're away from their computer.
oh yeah, I completely understand. But with me and the way that I do streams, like I've been requested to come on to a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's like in the event that I'm taking time to, it's like, hey, how's it going? Address the chatters, whatnot. And if someone like jokingly decides to like mute me or something, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna throw a fit. It's like, you know what? Hey, look, you want to have fun? That's cool. I got other things to do. Have a good one.
Yeah, seriously.
I believe there was one time where a major channel was in turmoil. Like the owner of the stream, it wasn't the owner of the stream that muted me. It was someone that had a wrench.
Oh,
and there was a major fight, major blowout for that. So.
Oh no one on this. No, everyone on this stream. I think Burnside's the youngest. I'm 39. Tara's 36. Six who just left is 41. Herb's 30. Yeah, we're all middle aged. We're all very lax and very. This is a very slow, chill stream. I think that's part of the reason that we've had a lot of animosity from other streams lately. Is we're just chill people. We like to have a good time.
Well, you can't please everyone, and it's so much easier to piss them all off.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
and it tends to be a little more fun too.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a fucking agenda here for crying out loud. I mean,
I meant pissing people off is a little more fun.
Yeah, and you gotta admit, when I pop on, start talking about characters from like Marvel and DC, it's like, yeah, now this is popping off.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
hell yeah.
we're all nerds, and we don't ever usually get to flex that muscle. Usually it's we get caught up in politics all the time, and
Yeah, someone was like Transformers and Prime. It's like he was a hero. It's like, hold this fucking train. I'm getting on. First of all, he was a villain.
hey, that's fine, man. It's the past. Wow, it's 103 already. That's what I'm saying. We've been talking about this, and time has just flew off of the thing. Usually, we'll be doing politics, and it grinds just because it's depressing shit. You don't want to hear how you're getting fucked over left and right by the elected elites.
My take on politics is if someone asks my opinion on politics, I'm like, look, lick my balls. That's my opinion on politics. Well, who are you for, left or right? How about you're for both of them while you lick both the left and right nuts? How about that?
There you go.
That's funny. Yeah, that's why I didn't bring up, the other things I was going to go on about, because we're having a good time here. I'm not going to fucking wreck it. Let's see what other cards we have to play.
And besides, we can do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
like with me, right? My streaming is all about video games. Someone comes in talking politics, they get one warning. That's it. Shut your trap. They don't want to do it. Guess what? They're out the door.
Right. Like I'll toss in my political jokes and comedy, like I'll call everyone a sodomite and Mao Zedong and shit. That's about it. Let's see here. John's got a good question. Any cartoon pornos? That's funny. And he also says Clerks the animated series. That's his card to play.
As the music comes in the background.
American Celt's got a good one. Red versus blue.
Yeah, the best part though of that Clerks cartoon, I'm sorry, had to be Alec Baldwin as Leonardo. Well played, Clerks.
That's great.
So Peter's asking me, it's in reference to Lo-Fi's stream earlier tonight, which was the Fake Orgasm Olympics, to which I won first place.
Nice.
He says, Tara, can your fake orgasms easily be confused for real ones? No, because to be quite honest, I'm not normally that loud during sex unless it's really good sex. If I'm bored with it, I'm quiet.
Well, I'm normally that loud, but it's not sex. We're talking barbecue. Like,
Well, my response to that would be, in the jungle, you must wait till the dice reach 5 or 8.
Oh, you bastard! Oh, that's a good one.
Wow, I saw that one in theaters too.
The original was great. I haven't watched the remake.
I've heard nothing but bad things about the remake, unfortunately.
I can't bring myself to watch the remake because Robin Williams.
Oh, Jumanji! Yeah. I watched the remake. It's
good, huh?
Well, it's good in its own right. If you don't relate it to the Jumanji with Robin Williams, it's good in its own right. I mean, Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, on a movie together is hilarious no matter what the theme is.
Wasn't Luis Guzman in there also?
Who did what with who for how many cookies?
I said, wasn't Luis Guzman in that movie also, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm not sure.
All right.
But no, like in its own right as a movie, it's pretty decent. If you're not relating it to the previous Jumanji, then it's fine.
Yeah,
if you're going in expecting, like a board game, no, this is like a video game console relatable to the fucking Atari.
Now, what I could probably do is think of it as someone else found the game.
Yeah. You can do that.
That's the only way I can do it. Is someone else found the fucking game.
Yeah.
Well, at least it isn't like, what was the other one that they made in between the two of them? Zathura, Zarusta, what is it? Where it's Jumanji, but it's Zathura. Yeah.
Which that was actually really good because I remember the books.
Zathura was actually pretty decent. That was a good game. That was a good movie about a game, and I like how it circled back. That was actually pretty fucking cool. And here, what else to say? Oh, god damn it. Oh, the only good movie I've seen lately is Ready Player One. I like the fact that they basically had a whole bunch of Spartans, Spawn, Harley Quinn, and and they over a couple Overwatch characters that run around.
You have the Iron Giant there. You cannot not get teary-eyed about the Iron Giant.
Yeah, dude.
If you watch the Iron Giant, you've seen that giant, glorious fucking robot come
That
through.
was
And you
fucking
didn't
cool,
shed a
yeah.
tear, then you're heartless and you need to get the fuck out of the stream.
I second that. Yeah, that was awesome. The Iron
one
Giant
thing-
versus Mechagodzilla was cool as fuck.
I want to see this movie now just because of the scene you said, but
It gets better. It gets better, Scoop. Here's how it goes. Okay, so this corporate douchebag is defending his stronghold, so he just props down Mechagodzilla. And then one of the main characters is like, all right, I'm bringing in the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant and Mechagodzilla are beating the hell out of each other. And then I believe it was the ninja comes in and he's like, all right, I'm using the power glove. And here's the cool thing. He turns into a fucking Gundam and fights Mechagodzilla.
And that's for like a cooldown of like 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like he's like, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And they're like, dude, bail. He's like, I'm not bailing. And then, like, literally, Mechagodzilla's like, I have you in my hand, bitch. You can do no more damage. He's like, and the first to the egg, fuck you very much.
And then the Iron Giant's like, not today, Satan.
Yeah, the Iron Giant just comes in, he's like, oh, you killed my friend. I'm gonna kick your ass. And the Iron Giant literally puts its life down on the line so everyone can get to the fucking end. That was awesome.
I'll tell you what, though, I hated the ending on how he beat the game. Absolutely hated it. I mean, come on, you could have skipped all that, just blew everyone up. That butler gave him the fucking coin, so it's like an extra life. It's like, okay, the game's not wiped out because there's one person.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat that they pulled that out of their hat trick. But I was like, yeah, as it was, yeah, that would have been a good way to end it. So where that basically crashes IOI stock.
Plus, we all know that if there was an actual corporate battle in video games, I'd be the most powerful person in the world. Bottom line.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You'd be pretty fucking beef. I gave into my inner nerd and I was like, I would lead an army of my dudes. Like I'd literally be waving. Hold on, since I don't have an actual copy of my own flag, I'd basically be like, yeah, I'd have this flag cut out for my avatar, I'd be flying that, and I'd be like, all right, let's fucking go.
Iron Giant be an Autobot or Decepticon?
It would actually be a Decepticon because in the movie itself, notice how the origin states that, it was originally a war robot. And it was sent to destroy because it was used in a lot of wars, wherever it came from. And it was sent to destroy. Anytime that it was angered, guess what? It turned into a weapon of fucking mass destruction, destroying humanity, or whatever got in the way. Sounds like the Decepticons to you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just remembered I had put it in my server yesterday because I was talking to somebody. We were talking about cartoons. And I said to him, he was telling me how I think Rick and Morty just got renewed for whatever umpteenth season they're up to now.
I actually like Rick and Morty.
I like Rick and Morty, but I hate Dan Hartman as a person.
I had said to him, it's a shame that cartoons of that caliber keep getting renewed over and over. But this cartoon, I said, only got 2 seasons. And what I was referring to was this cartoon called Megas XLR.
Megas was fucking awesome. I love that fucking cartoon.
Well, Reboot only got 2 seasons.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's always the good ones they don't pick up for renewal.
Beast Wars got 2 seasons, and then they got Beast Wars Age of Cybertron.
Yeah. Transformers only got 2 seasons. G.I. Joe got 2 seasons.
Yeah, John Pierre, you're right. Yeah, I don't like the Rick and Morty fandom either. I mean, I like the show, but I don't like how the fans are so mentally retarded. They think because they emulate Rick, they can literally become billionaires. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Wait, so then what does that say about me if I'm a fan of Rick and Morty, but yet I don't belch everywhere?
Well, I mean, you have your own way of being a billionaire, but it doesn't emulate Rick, right? Like you're not trying to go on like yeah, I'm fucking Rick. I'm the prime Rickest Rick there is. That can do science shit and be a billionaire and fuck you all and shit. Like you're not being a dick.
Well, I would most definitely be like fuck you all, but I wouldn't be drunk about it.
Yeah.
if that was a viable thing, I would probably combine Rick and Morty and The One with Jet Li. I would go to each different universe and kill myself so I can get stronger.
That would be scary.
It's not murder if it's you're killing yourself. It's suicide, assisted suicide.
Yeah, definitely. Although that was a great movie. Yeah, if you were doing that, dude, I would not try and stop you because I don't think I could.
Nobody would be able to stop me. I mean, after okay, so if you look at it on even like the metaphysical level, if it were plausible and you jumped a parallel and you killed yourself, right? That circle of energy gets smaller, so instantly you're stronger than everyone else on any, universe just because there's one less you. Now, guess what? The only thing you have to contend with is yourself on other parallel worlds. Yep. And then even then, they don't know that you're coming. You're hunting them out.
I think it's actually a pretty cool concept. And yeah, John, I hear you with the fucking pickle Rick. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that shit too.
Speaking of, please tell me you remember this series. It's not exactly animated, but it's awesome nonetheless. Sliders.
Yes.
I've seen every single episode.
Oh, I love it.
We're all run.
Although I wish they had actually made an episode of the Without Sin world where Eve didn't eat the fucking apple. That they slid into the world, and all you see is it's snowing, and there's a mailman walking by completely naked except for his satchel covering everything, and you see a family.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, it's at the very end. I wish they had gone through with it.
I think it's like 2 episodes before it was supposed to be the show finale where they actually go home, but that specific day his mom decided to oil the fucking fence.
Yep.
What?
Well, the key thing is how Quinn could tell he was home is if the gate creaked open when he tried to open it. That
no, it wasn't his mom. It was the gardener decided to oil it.
Yeah, it was the gardener because she was banging him on the side. So it's it's like, I decided to oil that fence for you, and he's like, this is how I can tell we're home. If this gate creaks, then we're in the right place. And he opens it, it doesn't creak because it's no longer rusty. So it's like, well, move on to the next one. So then they jump to another parallel universe. Turns out that it was the right one, and the gardener just fucked everything up.
Oh, that's tough.
I remember that show. You know what that reminds me of? Quantum Leap.
Yeah,
Jean-Pierre
said that.
I don't remember what this it was one of those live action miniseries they had where it was
VR Troopers.
Mm-hmm. I was saying that before. We are VR. We are VR.
The thing is,
you guys talk. I'll be back. I gotta walk this stupid mutt.
Okay.
The thing is, VR Troopers had Tim Curry in it.
Yeah, Kilo Khan.
He was the villain.
Yep, he was Kilo Khan. I remember the guy's name.
There was this cartoon that was out, or not a cartoon. It was live action, but it had some animated spots to it. It was the basis of it was these kids that went into a cyber dimension, and there was this guy that basically he was a villain and he was in control of the whole cyber universe and that. And basically, what he would do is he would basically terraform over planets and renew them. I can't remember what the hell the goddamn name of it, but like it was basically like he had this power vest for whenever anybody pulled on the vest, they could basically morph all these digital characters and creatures and stuff to make them from one thing into another. And it was like type of like digital space meets space adventure. And they had
I don't know. I mean, the closest thing that I can think of is like VR Trooper.
VR Trooper. was. I want to say it was on that fucking Saturday morning Cartoon Network. That was
WB.
Was it that it?
Yeah, Warner Brothers, WB.
Yeah, probably was then. I don't remember what the goddamn hell the name was.
I don't know if was VR Troopers on WB or was it on Fox?
I've been on. Yeah, I can't fucking remember it. Let's see here. And we had a new person enter. Val's Phantasm Soldiers then raised us Mighty Max and Peter Pan and the Pirate. And apparently VR Troopers was on Fox, according to Valve.
It was Fox, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember whether it was WB or Fox. Because I remember and like Saturday morning, you go to Fox for the morning ones.
Yeah.
And then you go to WB for the afternoon ones.
Pretty sure it's on in the afternoon. If I can ever remember the name of it, I'll have to rewatch it because it was kind of a neat basis. But it was like a boy, a girl, a robot, and some other people. And it was like they were trying to liberate this digital space or whatever it was from this tyrannical dude. And it turned out that the tyrannical dude was actually the main boy's character's, the main boy character's long lost father. It was some type of like Tron type shit, in a sense. It was like someone took like Tron and made it a kid's face.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of anything electronic or mechanical when it comes to cartoons, but I can't say that I remember that one.
Damn.
Oh fuck! God
You
damn
all right?
it! I fell asleep in my hand again. Just face planted the goddamn counter. That hurt. Ugh.
Ooh, you all right?
By your
Yeah,
powers combined, I am Captain Faceplant.
I thought you'd like that. No, it's just I gotta hop out, guys. I gotta be up in 3.5 hours. I'm at the wall. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit me up, Optimus. It's always a pleasure, man. And yeah, we do this all the time. If you want, Burnside or Terra can shoot you a link. Hop in. I'm always down to talk about nerdy shit.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Optimus,
nerds are me.
cool.
Well,
Yeah, you have
you're
my
good on my boat,
you have
then.
me on Discord, right, Optimus?
I have a lot of Discord.
Okay, I'll because I think I have you on Discord DM.
All right.
Yeah. I'm in a lot of groups that everyone's a part of. Like
Okay.
you see the the green robot that says Optimus Christ, and that's me.
All right.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night, folks. Take care.
All right. Good night, Scoob.
Yep. Laters.
All right. Yeah. If anything, we'll try and go for a little bit longer, or when Tara gets back, if you want, we'll try and shut this down. So I'm probably gonna go make a sandwich in a bit myself and probably hit the bed.
You don't want to go to bed. You want to talk about Marvel stuff now.
You're a motherfucker.
Well, remember how I made my whole nerdum, known?
Yeah.
Is through explaining Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, it was coming in as like, hold up. Let me educate you about the real Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Which I thought was actually kind of cool. The concept of him being a villain is interesting.
Yeah, well, with the lore, I mean, if you're looking at it from the perspective of a dying planet needing more energon to go out and survey some planets and not really considering humanity as sentient beings, then, the primes would be the guerrilla warfare people, fighting the oppressive regime of crushing the little ones.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yes.
I thought it was a cool series. I just didn't like how Michael Bay took the movies and stuff. First one was cool, then after the second was like, all right, come on, enough with the masturbatory explosions and shit. And
Okay,
then
I take it Scooby went to bed.
yeah, he went to bed. Were you gonna keep going? You want to shut it down?
No, I'm about to shut it down.
Okay.
You're not drunk and you're home alone, so yeah.
Well, I was probably gonna make a sandwich and then probably go to bed myself.
Oh, fuck you! God damn it!
Woman, I work nights all the time. I'm usually tired if I'm not already, asleep in the afternoon. It is what it is.
We'll discuss this off air. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, everyone.
All right.
Remember, Autobots, lick my ass.